All right, guys, let's go ahead and get it started here. I think we're hitting right on time. All right, welcome. I'm signing in today from a hotel in Las Vegas at the International Franchise Association convention. So apologies for the hotel room background, but excited to walk through today's topic. We're going to be going over Gemini, something I've not used before, and it's a lot of talk even at this conference around Gemini. So excited to see what it can do. So some quick highlights for everybody. An overview. We always like to cover, the purpose of this just to help you walk away with a few new tips or tricks and knowledge around hopefully a new tool that if you have not used it before, or if you are, maybe some new ways to use it. I'm also going to try to dig into ChatGPT a little bit more. I want to showcase something called deep research on the personal side of ChatGPT for folks that have personal accounts versus team accounts, and I'll kind of explain that here in a minute. Reminder, next webinar is going to be March 12th, so second or third Wednesday in March. Agenda is always kind of quick recap of the last topic, which tends to have some trending news, and then introduce the new AI topic, and then spend hopefully majority of the time doing some live demoing and answering questions for folks. So last time we spent a good part of the AI Wisdom Wednesday covering 2024 highlights and then introducing you to a bunch of stuff that happened in January. OpenAI introduced something called Operator, which allows essentially for ChatGPT to take control of a browser and then take action for you online. We walked through some new updates as it related to Grok, which is the XAI platform, which competes with ChatGPT and Gemini. We also discussed some recently improved functionality on projects related to Claude, which is an Anthropic product, also a competitor to ChatGPT, Grok, and now Gemini as we walk through it today. We highlighted the very end of the AI Wisdom Wednesday last month, creating a video with Sora, the new product by OpenAI that's been recently rolled out to everybody. It's in a different sort of browser from your typical ChatGPT, but you can get to it. I'll highlight that again when we get inside the live demo. And then we also talked about this company that kind of came to market called Deepseek out of nowhere. A Chinese offering sort of shook up the market a little bit. We walked through, the reason for that happening in late January. We walked through how the model's performing for DeepSeek relative to other models and chat platforms that we've been demoing on our AI Wisdom Wednesdays. And we've not gone through a full demo of DeepSeek. We're not quite sure how long this one's going to stick around, how safe it is. So we're doing our research to make sure it's one that we'd recommend before we do dive into it. And then lastly, we talked about data. So really just wanting to continue to emphasize making sure you're managing data, organizing your data as much as possible. It is the gold, or sort of the new gold, they say, right? So we emphasize that as part of our recap of 2024 and some of the topics we discussed last year. All right, so with that, let's talk about Gemini. And this is gonna be pretty interesting because I don't have any Gemini conversations started yet, which is really cool. I always love using a product for the first time. So Gemini is Google's version of ChatGPT. It's integrated throughout the Google Workplace. So you might see a little icon that kind of looks like this star here throughout different applications. So with Google Docs, you can ask it to help you write things. Same with Google Slides. You can actually add Gemini as an extension to your Chrome browser. We won't get into a lot of that stuff today, but we will get into the basic chat functionality. So very quick highlight here. Google originally launched as Bard. So some of you may have heard of that name before. Was in sometime in 2023 after all the hoopla with ChatGPT. It kind of fell flat pretty quickly. They were having issues with generating pictures that were factually correct and accurate. The CEO came out and even spoke to that. They've since tried to clean it up quite a bit. There's still some issues with it, but the product we're going to view today is now Gemini, and the one that they're continuing to build on. Here's just a quick highlight of how Gemini compares against other sort of prior models. Here you can see the scores it's getting, on general testing, reasoning, math. So again, all these scores continue to go up. Um, and happy to speak to which platform to use for what use case. I think I kind of mentioned this here, but it is powered throughout the workspace. We're not going to cover a lot of that functionality today. We're going to cover mostly the chat functionality. But again, this is an example of what that looks like when you're in Google Docs. So all this is part of Gemini and part of the AI platform that Google's building. So if you've seen this, you're actually already using Gemini to a degree. All right, so let's start by introducing Gemini for upper hand and spend majority of this half hour actually using it. I'm going to be using a paid version, so you'll see Gemini Advanced in the top left of my screen when I get into the account. There is a free version like almost all these platforms, so the real difference is when you're paying for something, you're going to get state-of-the-art model, the state-of-the-art model, the most recent features that have launched. Typically you're getting those out of beta, which is really cool. So if you're kind of somebody that is an early adopter, paying for it's always a great option. All right, so this is kind of what your screen's going to look like, but I'm just going to jump right into it for everybody here. And I've also got ChatGPT open because I want to showcase the deep research functionality. But let me arrange my little Zoom windows here. Okay, so just as you would expect, like all the other chatbots we've had, you've got your prompt box down here in the bottom, very bottom. Some interesting things with Gemini. They have something called Gems, which is similar to a GPT in ChatGPT, but slightly different. So we're going to look at those a little bit today. They have a thing called Gem Manager, so you could pop in here to get some sort of quick ideas on different prompts and things that you could pull, sentiment analysis, writing editor, etc. So you can do anything in here that you can with ChatGPT. So we'll just ask it. I always like to tell people anytime you use a new tool, just ask it. What are 10 ways I can use? I can't see my prompt. Let's see here. I can use Gemini to help me operate my youth field hockey training academy in Indianapolis, Indiana. Okay, so you're kind of out of the gates. We're getting took a little bit of time is thinking, curriculum development. Okay, that's not really, that's good. I was looking for more like operational side stuff. So let's prompt it back. Here you can kind of see Google does a good job highlighting how to use something. So it looks like we can select text in Gemini in response to modify. I'm going to ask it for more. Not so much. Let's see what it says here. Well, of course it's crucial. All right, so this is what I was hoping for. So now we're getting some ideas. So we could use Gemini to create and manage a budget, maybe analyze some expenses, financial reporting, all the stuff we've looked at before in prior platforms, legal compliance, communication. One thing that's interesting about Gemini, in researching their conversations, you cannot delete your conversations in here. So even if you have in settings and activity, I'll show you here. If you have it apps activity turned off, your conversations are still saved for 72 hours. So I've just started using Gemini, so I'm assuming here in 4 days I'll come back and maybe there'll be an option to delete these, but just keep that in mind. There's no way to get rid of these threads basically as we're working through them here in the Gemini prompt. All right, so let's compare how Gemini performs against um, ChatGPT for some prompts. So I've got a few prepped up for us. We're going to take one. People always ask about competitor analysis, and actually, let's ask real quick. Can you assist in finding or in doing competitor? Let's see what it says. All right, so this is one of the benefits, right, of Gemini is leveraging obviously the entire Google search network. So let's see how it compares to um, ChatGPT. Field hockey training. So Acceleration Indiana, we actually know those guys, great people. We work with them, but not really getting great field hockey training businesses, in my opinion here. Pretty generic. Now let's see what ChatGPT does for us. Oh wow, not near Indiana, but it's doing much better job finding actual field hockey clubs on. Yeah, it's not even close in terms of the comparison of the two. So let's do another prompt and compare here. Let's find out what trends Gemini thinks we can have. Holistic development. Okay. I'll let you guys, I know I'm scrolling here, kind of go a little slower so you can see it. Nothing really standing out as really earth-shattering so far. I mean, that stuff's pretty basic. Let's try this again. One thing with ChatGPT, and I don't have the option of switching my model here in Gemini. I think that's coming. I've seen some beta versions of this where you can select different models within Gemini. So unfortunately, I can't. We don't have that option right now, but you can in ChatGPT still. And some of the newer models that we've not covered on our AI Wisdom Wednesdays are these O3 models that are really good at coding and logic and advanced reasoning. So we're going to go ahead and use some of these for these questions too. So let's check out how this works. Now, I would typically use Grok as the platform to go find trends because that's going to be a platform where it's analyzing conversations online in real time. Actually mentions augmented reality, just like Google did. It's interesting. So an okay analysis, and maybe not the best answer. Maybe we need to fix the prompt too. And let me show you two more prompts. Let's see how it handles SWOT analysis and KPIs, and then we'll showcase deep research in um, ChatGPT. So let's try to do SWOT analysis. Okay, again, kind of high level stuff. Let's do one of these gems and see what happens. Write a you write a sales pitch for me to help convert free trials to a membership at my youth field hockey training academy. Okay. What kind of membership packages are you offering? Uh, Come up with the best membership packages from your perspective. Market knowledge. As here's your sales pitch. Yeah, man, I'm so far not super impressed with this compared to ChatGPT. I'd be curious if who all's using Gemini within the chat group. If you are using, if you wouldn't mind sending a message to Sebastian, I'd be curious what your guys' take is on it. Let's run the same prompt over here. Oh, we just did that one. Let's do the KPIs. Let's ask Gemini this real quick. Let's see. I want to see how they handle data analysis. It's interesting. Giving number of new clients per month. Obviously, that's fine. Client retention. So it's pretty basic KPIs. Gemini can create images as well. So I do want to show that before I kind of keep digging into more of the prompts. The problem is that the images, you'll get an error message. So I'm going to say generate an image of a youth field hockey at camp. Oh, it looks like it's working. Earlier when I did this, it was saying it wasn't gonna prompt. So let me try another prompt here in a second. Oh, there you go. This is what I was getting when I was doing images. So for some reason, it won't generate certain types of images, and I believe this has to do with some of the way their images have been populating. It sort of got them in trouble early on. But you can create images. Just want to give you a sense as to what it looks like when they do generate. Does take a little longer, I've noticed, than ChatGPT. So it can do some imaging, but again, it seems a little bit less helpful at this point. Okay, so any questions about Gemini yet? Now keep in mind this is all fairly recent, this interface, so I fully expect it to continue to improve and get better over time. But I do want to show deep research because you guys are going to love it. All right, so a few new things that I wanted to cover on ChatGPT. I mentioned Sora. So last time we covered it very quickly at the end of the AI Wisdom Wednesday, but this is where you can create videos. We're not going to create a video just for time because I want to focus on the deep research part of ChatGPT. But just a reminder, this is where you go to get to video creation, and when you hover over your video clip, it'll kind of play for you. Again, we'll probably do a dedicated video AI Wisdom Wednesday at some point. We're going to let this continue to improve over time. You know, the videos are still, you can almost tell it was made by Sora, so to speak. So I imagine this is going to get better probably in another quarter or two. But that's how you get there, is over here on the left. When you're in your account, you'll notice something called tasks that was recently launched. We have not started playing with that too much yet, but hoping to do a AI Wisdom Wednesday on that at some point. Um, right now, you can only use deep research on your personal accounts that I've found. When you're on the 4.0 model, I don't believe, okay, so you can't use it with O1 now. O 03, you can use it. And again, these models are all just depending on what you're trying to do, right? So um, the O 03s are the newer models. This one's best at reasoning, the O1 Pro, and you get access to all of these with your paid account. But I'm on the personal side. So there's this new button called Deep Research, and this is gonna it kind of blew my mind the first time I did it. So let's grab one of these. What are the most common pricing models? And we're going to ask it, um, create a research report um, that provides insights around common pricing models for youth sports training programs, specifically my youth field hockey training academy business. All right, okay, turn deep research on. So now you can tell it's highlighted there. All right, so now it's going to ask for some clarifying questions, and then it'll do a really big report. So let's go ahead and do you have a? We're just going to say you do the research. Let me know for each. Now, typically, I would answer these if you're wanting to really do research, but for the sake of this and not boring you guys to death, we'll go this way. Now, these models that we're using, all right, so starting to research. This will take a second, and we'll just talk while this is happening. Um, when you click down, these models run a little slower, okay, because they're using different logic on the back end that just takes a little bit longer to process. So you're going to want to use 4.0 just for like your daily stuff, like very quick, hey, fix an email, improve an email, edit a doc, etc. You're going to want to kind of use 4.0. That's kind of my go-to. But for these larger research ones, you're going to get much more detailed answers with some of these different reasoning models you find here. So, like I said, we'll give this a second. While this loads, I'll show somebody had asked a question about um, what was the other platform we've used for researching trends, and that is Grok. So let me try to find that for you. 1 second. I'm just going to pause my screen and open Grok real quick. So that's this platform, and they've since released a web browser version of this. For those of you who've been on our AI Wisdom Wednesdays over the last year, you'll know we've demoed this inside X, formerly Twitter, but they now have it as its own platform. So it's really probably worth doing another AI Wisdom Wednesday. They've added a ton of functionality. They're kind of ramping pretty quick, but this is the one I was mentioning earlier on this call about researching trends. So this is definitely one I would be using pretty regularly. All right, so you can see it's taking longer, but no big deal. You can click in to see what's going on if you're kind of curious what it's doing. It's actually using its own reasoning model. It's searching the internet for the different topics we put in for this research. It's got a list of sources that it'll be compiling, and it'll kind of list each one. So we'll just give it a little bit more time. That's cool. Search for 2022 state of play cost trends. Currently comparing sports costs, noting soccer, basketball, and baseball. Now it's looking at lacrosse. So it's kind of cool. You can see how it's reasoning as a model here. We'll let it keep going. And while it's doing that, anybody have any questions? And then we'll happy to answer those now. Okay, pretty wild. Oh, there it goes. It found a field hockey place, Dynasty Field Hockey Club.
Hey, Kevin, we got a question from Melissa. How did
Yeah.
you get to the deep research option in ChatGPT?
Oh, good question. So, um, down here at the bottom in your chat box, there's a button that you click for deep research to get you sort of see it highlights there, detailed insights. If you don't see that in your ChatGPT, I'm paying for this version of ChatGPT, so you may have to upgrade the version you're on, but that's where it's located. So you just make sure that's clicked whenever you submit your prompt.
Another question came in. Do you think Gemini gives limited responses because it's new and still learning?
Yes, I think that's a fair assessment, at least in the experience. Now, the prompts I'm using are not very advanced by any means. They're pretty basic, but I mean, even with Grok, with ChatGPT, we put in the same prompts, and we're getting, in my opinion, much better answers. So I do think it's just newer. I think they're trying to work through some of the issues they had with image generation. Um, but it's Google, so they're not going to be far behind. And the gems are newer, so I'm not as familiar with how to use all these. But the one we use with the sales pitch ideator didn't seem too impressive. So to answer your question, yes, I think they will get better. There's no question about that. Okay, so let's see. All right, we're very close. Maybe while it's doing that, I'll show you guys a little Sora while we're waiting. Um, So in Sora, again, I believe this comes with your ChatGPT subscription. You do have to sign up. Yeah, unfortunately, you don't use the same account, I think. But the featured section shows you all kinds of videos people are generating. So if you're kind of interested in a particular style, graphically, you can just click that video. So maybe this one here with the weather, that's cool. So here's the prompt. Um, you can edit it, so you can actually take what's been created, create a new one off of that. So a really cool way to get different prompts if you're not sure how to write a prompt for the video you're wanting. Um, Again, this is where all your videos are going to be stored there. Get a little closer. This one was actually pretty cool. This is one we did last time, which this video is better than the one over here, but it was a little kind of possessed. All right, we're almost there. But you can tell how much research is actually taking place. I'm a little surprised that this one's um, going this deep right now. We're almost there. See if it's put any sources. Not yet. Almost. All right, here while it's doing that, let's ask Grok for some trends. What a trends question. So this was the one I mentioned about trends. Let's just ask it. It's got the ability to do search, where it'll look at results on X specifically. So I'll turn that on, and let's see what it says. I do like that Grok gives their sources as well on the right-hand side. Looks like we're getting some decent, let's see if they're any different than still a lot of wearable tech, AI coaching. Man, is augmented reality the thing? Are you guys all doing that? Maybe we need to do a AI Wisdom Wednesday on it because it keeps coming up. Um, okay, so and it was good, maybe not great. All right, here we go. Voila. So it would have taken us an entire, quarter probably to research. We've got a great starting point. So we've got a full research report on pricing models for youth sports with a focus on field hockey. And I'm going to scroll through this a little bit for you so you can kind of see the depth that it goes in. It references, oh wow, it picked us for some reason. That's nice. But it does have the link to the source within each part of the report, which is really awesome. So you can tell this is kind of very much like an academic sort of Gartner style research reporting, which is great. Picked up on Athletic Republic, great. We know those guys; they're a customer of ours. They found field hockey. I don't know mainline, but they must be doing good stuff. It's going to walk through paper session pricing. I mean, so look how long this is. I mean, this would take us, we could spend a whole hour going through this thing. Seasonal package pricing. So it's basically breaking down different different pricing models, pros and cons, challenges to those pricing models, and then comparing that analysis across sports, customer preference insights, geographic consideration, and then recommendations for your pricing strategy. For some reason, we're in here a few times. ChatGPT needs to be paying us for that info. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but very awesome. So you could use this for, I mean, really anything. Every one of these prompts, and again, remember the original prompt we put was we really didn't even really say much. This was the original prompt here, uh, and we did not answer any of these questions. So you can get very specific to really help get what you need, right? In terms of whether you're researching You want to create new campaigns. You could do a quick deep research report. Hey, create a research report for what kind of marketing campaigns are the next up and coming thing for youth field hockey training academies in my area. So you could leverage this for a number of different things. If you're dealing with a particular problem or issue within your business, maybe it's financially related. You could submit to do a report researching how do I overcome a particular challenge. So again, this tool is really exciting. We've just started using it a little bit. Again, it does take a little bit of time, but to get that, I believe you upgrade your account, and we'd be happy to send more information and do another demo specifically on more of the research if people would like. So I know I'm kind of over on my time, but I'll pause there.